For legal reasons, not for the correct reasons, mainstream media in the United States never apologize for faulty reporting. Stealth edit their headlines, they'll stealth edit the body of their work, but they'll never apologize because legal reasons. They don't want to put out false information and then later on say, well, we messed up because we knowingly put this information out. Well, a Danish newspaper apologized for publishing official Coof narratives without questioning them. And the quote here is, "We failed," as that newspaper has stated. In August, Germany's top newspaper Bild apologized for the outlet's fear-driven Coof coverage. The special message to children: we were told that they were going to end their grandmother. Now a newspaper in Denmark has publicly apologized for reporting government narratives surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic without questioning them. Here in the United States, the big MSM don't question anything, which is weird because for the previous 4 years when Trump was in office, they questioned everything. But now they don't question anything for the last year and some change. Why? Well, you know why. Because the government tells the MSM, who are basically carrying their water for them, their cheerleaders, what to say and what not to say. And the puppets in the news media are more than happy to carry the water for our government, regardless if they know what our government is saying is completely fucking false. They don't fucking care. They're more than happy in carrying all the water for them, all the fake narratives, all the correct messaging the government wants. They're happy to do that. But it is, in this time of lies, it's very rare for a newspaper of any grand publication to actually state, we're sorry, we messed up. So the article reads, and you can read it yourself. You can go to Zero Hedge and type it in. I'm not going to post the link, but you can find out. It's in Danish. I can't read Danish. But it basically says, "We failed," reads the article's headline from the tabloid Ekstra Bladet, which goes on to admit that for almost 2 years, we, the press, and the population have been almost hypnotically preoccupied with authorities' daily Coof figures. Let me read that again. And that should hopefully, for you normies out there who may come across this video, go, wait a minute. Are you saying the news media in our country? Because, let's face it, news media around the world is essentially the same. That, according to the Danish paper here, that they failed. And for almost 2 years, we, the press, and the population have been almost hypnotically preoccupied with the authorities' daily Coof figures. What did we happen to see over the last year in 2020? Where the news media in our country, the United States, published the deaths and had a ticker on every time for CNN. And as soon as the goddamn potato usurped the White House, they removed it. Why? Because, well, more deaths have occurred on the potato's watch than any other than Trump. Now, is that Biden's fault? Well, yes. If you're going to take the messaging and the narrative from the MSM and the fucking goddamn socialist pieces of human trash that occupy our current government, then yes, they're going to say yes, those were Trump's fault. Oh, so they're going to say this Biden's fault. No, yeah, it's Biden's fault. That's what it is. And then, of course, Barry Weiss on Twitter goes, whoa. Read the rest of the statement below. I'll go ahead and read it because I'm already 4 minutes in. It says, at the oscillations of the number of pendulum when it comes to infected, hospitalized, and died with the Coof, and we have been given the significance of the pendulum's smallest movements laid out by experts, politicians, and authorities who have constantly warned us about the dormant Coof monster under our beds, a monster just waiting for us to fall asleep so it can strike in the gloom of darkness of night. The constant mental alertness has worn out tremendously on all of us. This is why we, the press, must also take stock in our own efforts, and we have failed. We have not been vigilant enough at the garden gate when the authorities required to answer what it actually meant that people are hospitalized with Coof and not because of Coof. Because it makes a difference, a big difference. Exactly the once the official hospitalization numbers have been shown to be 27% higher than the actual figure for how many there are in the hospital, simply because they have the Coof. We only know that now. Of course, it is first and foremost the authorities who are responsible for informing the population correctly, accurately, and honestly. The figures for how many are sick and died of Coof should, for obvious reasons, have been published long ago, so we got the clearest picture of the monster under the bed. In all, the message of authorities and politicians to the people in this historic crisis leave much to be desired. And therefore they lie as they have ridden when parts of the population lose confidence in them. Another example, the vaxes are constantly referred to as our super weapon, and our hospitals are called super hospitals. Nevertheless, the super hospitals are apparently maximally pressured, even though almost the entire population is armed with a super weapon. Even children have been vaccinated on a huge scale, which has not been done in our neighboring countries. In other words, there is something there that does not deserve the term super. Whether it's vaccines, hospitals, or a mixture of it all, it is every man's bid. But at least the authorities' communication to the population in no way deserves the term super. On the contrary. And again, it takes a lot of cojones and balls for a newspaper, even a tabloid such as this one that is portrayed by Zero Hedge here, to actually come out and say, we're wrong for just accepting the message and the narrative from our own government and world leaders. Are they going to change? In fact, are they going to learn from this mistake and go forward and actually give the news readers in Denmark and possibly around the world the correct information and not false narratives and not government messaging? Maybe. But then again, this is the mainstream media. They've known to lie. For me to actually respond properly to this apology, I'll accept the apology just from them, but I'm gonna hold a weary eye to them until they actually atone for their crimes, if you will. On the other hand, in the United States, the mainstream media, the messaging, the narrative still continues on with nary apology to the millions of people they scare, and they gin up things and cajole and scare people and watch out for the thing under the bed because that's gonna get you. The mainstream media will never apologize in this country, and honestly, it deserves no quarter. They deserve scorn, and we should repudiate them at all costs, because until our news media apologizes for their crimes against us, the United States citizen, then I'll never fucking believe a goddamn word they ever fucking say. If they tell me the sky blue and I look at the sky blue, if the sky is blue, why should I believe them? They've lied to me before, and they will continue to lie to me in the future, and you as well.